Here I am with Amber Hanton. Yeah!
Hello.
That's my wife, y'all. So check this out. It's been a year transformation since, wow, all I gotta say is it's a great transformation. She finally came together and got it done. Been with her forever. She got on a horse and she loves working out now. It's amazing. But she put some hard work in, and let me kind of spit out these results as 70 pounds, okay, she lost in a year. 26% body fat dropped, gone. 10.5 inches off her belly and 9 inches off her hips. So, got her.
Feels good.
Yeah. So check it out. She there's a lot of goals here that we set in the beginning. Let's kind of just start off with like how it happened in the beginning. What kind of forced you to kind of get going?
I had just realized that it had gone too far. I had 2 kids, and I lost some weight after, our first daughter, Alexandra. But then when I got pregnant, through injuries in between that time, and when I got pregnant with Capri, I gained weight and too much, and I had a hard time after I had her losing it, and I wanted to be a good example for my children and be healthy and be able to run after them without, gasping for air. So I needed to jump on the horse and get going.
Yeah, and I think a lot has to do with teamwork too. I know there's times where I'm working a lot and I got to come home and she kind of, okay, go do cardio, or all right, I'm going to work. Yeah, kids are sleeping. There we go. And it's kind of that flip-flop, or I'm coming home watching kids while you're doing stuff. So
definitely.
It's that constant battle.
Constant communication and working together and having a great support system makes all the difference in the world. Another
thing is nutrition, right? Like as we're doing this, you got to be a team as you're doing this. I'm cooking food. I'm not sitting here. If I can get away with something and she can't, I'm gonna sit there and eat pizza in front of her. Like, first off, cheat meals here and there. It's one thing depending on what your goals are, but mainly the whole time eating clean, and that's the bottom line. As you start creating that lifestyle, and the next thing you know, my kids, Alex, 6 years old, Daddy, I want tilapia. I'm like, what? This is my tilapia. I gotta make extra tilapia because she likes fish. Like, this almost doesn't even make sense to me because I hated fish as a kid. Yep. And I know you're not as fond of fish.
Definitely not fond of fish, but that was my biggest challenge. Starting off with the transformation was getting those 5 to 6 meals in a day, and before that was one of my biggest weaknesses is I didn't eat enough, and the whole thought of learning to eat more food to keep your metabolism going and burning, more fat, and that whole process was hard to learn. But once you grasp it and you make your food ahead of time, it's all about preparation and time management, and it was just an overall awesome experience to go through this, and a lot of
hard work. Yes. Yeah, definitely learning. Because at the end of the day, it's learning and then teaching everybody else as well. Good examples we set as parents for our kids. I think any parents out there, you guys want the best for your kids and yourself. So you're just making that change and doing that for yourself. And, your kids will catch on pretty quick, and they want to be like mommy and daddy.
They do. And when they have the choice, and that's what I've loved to see about this is even my 2-year-old, Capri, if she has the choice, okay, do you want, these chips or these veggie straws? She picks veggie straws. They learn to start picking those good eating habits based on what you're doing. And I have found deep joy in that.
But you still want to be a kid too, because I know we had like fruit snacks in there and here and there, but we're like, don't touch them. 27 grams of sugar in 2 seconds is not worth it, And you start learning that stuff as you go, and it's really, it becomes easy. But you got to get in that routine first, and once you get in that routine, then it's clockwork. You're good to go. Let's talk a little bit about struggles, challenges you might have had through the whole process.
Like I said, at first, diet-wise, was eating enough food, eating all the meals that you needed to eat in a day, and every 2.5 to 3 hours, making sure. So I had to always have either my protein or my snacks with me. My meals already prepared with me to take them wherever I was going, whether I was working, going to school functions, or whatever with the kids. Secondly, working out. I had 2 torn ACLs currently, 1 in each knee. And that was one thing that was hard starting off was, the cardio. I had to find what worked for me, what, you know, whether it was running outside, whether it was the elliptical, whether it was, you know, the treadmill. You have to try new things and figure out what works, and what you have to listen to your body. And if I started hurting or I just wasn't feeling right and I was sore the next day, then I switched to something else. Or, you know, lifting, you have to make sure you have proper, you know, just proper alignment the whole time, and just definitely listen to your body when you're doing it.
How about cardio, right? We talk about cardio, how many calories we got to burn. Everyone's so caught up in like, well, I did an hour. I went outside and I walked, or I went and I did this for an hour and a half. So what about amping up the intensity, amping up the incline, the resistance, and burning 900, 1,000? You know, set little goals with those calorie burning. I mean,
and constantly, constantly, because I was in the beginning, I was guilty of that myself. You know, I would say, okay, I did an hour of cardio, I felt good about it, but you know, when he would hold me accountable and ask me, okay, well, how many calories did you burn? I'm like, oh, only 500. And
what's that? Come on.
In an hour. And so yeah, we had to up the intensity and the incline, and you know, now, you know, I'm full intensity, full incline, and just making sure I'm getting those calories burned and maintaining it.
Yep. And I know we touched a little bit about like meals, right? Like 5-6 meals a day.
Keep your metabolism going.
Yep.
And it's just been, you know, very fun to learn how your body works when you're treating it appropriately, when you are eating right, when you're exercising, and your body feeds off of it.
Seeing the greatest potential, right?
Yes.
Put yourself in a position to win, you know?
Exactly.
You have so much potential out there, but you never know unless you do it. And you know,
you don't. Take a risk. Try it.
Get out there and do it.
It's scary to admit that you lost control, you know, and I think that was one thing for me is I had always been athletic, and I had played, you know, traveling soccer, volleyball growing up, you know, in high school, when I was younger, college. And it was just a point, you know, with my knee injuries, and I think I used that as a clutch. You know, I, you know, got nervous that I didn't want to, you know, become crippled, not be able to, you know, run around with my kids. And and I will tell you, ever since I have lost all this weight, my back doesn't hurt as bad, my knees don't hurt as much, and my body, I am able to work out and do this without having 2 knee surgeries that I know I need. And so I'm learning to strengthen the muscles around it and able to function.
Yeah. Real quick, let's talk about future plans. What do we got going here in the mix?
Well,
tell everybody the good news. What we got going on?
Through all this, and my husband, and you know, we've been together for 7 years, and I've seen him eat, breathe, and sleep fitness, and him transforming life after life, and I have loved watching his journey through all this, and then me having my own personal journey. I would like to pay it forward, and so I have found a new passion in fitness myself, and have decided to become a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And so you will see me joining the team at HitchFit.
HitchFit.
Very soon. I'm super excited, and so yeah, if you're ready for your next transformation, contact either one of us.
Look at that story, 70 pounds lost, whoop, it's gone.
I've been where you are.
Another good news, what do we got going on in May? May 2013.
Yep. WBFF Central World Championships 2013. I have decided to compete, so I am super excited. Mark it off my bucket list.
There it is.
Top off my transformation, so stay tuned.
Yep, so good stuff. So to wrap it up, you know, the awesome results here. You know, once again, we got 70 pounds lost. We got 26% body fat loss, 10.5 inches on the belly, 9 inches on the hips, and woo, got 'em. Good stuff. So stay tuned. Reach